Hello, welcome back to Time in the UK. So I've taken delivery of a Pagani design Blackbay, I suppose you might call it, Blackbay homage. Very interesting because it takes a theme of design from the Blackbay watch. When the watch arrived, it came with a red trim there on the crown, so I'm going to put a little video on how I got rid of that. Okay, I had a little bit of a disaster with it because I broke the winding pin, but because it's an NH35 movement, I bought two from China. They came within 4 days and they cost £3, so it wasn't the end of the world. I just had to trim them to the correct size. Put the crown of the watch very carefully and gently. I was going to put something on to protect it, but can't seem to get anything that... Right, so I think I've got a couple of files here. I've also got something called a cleaning cloth, which is an abrasive fabric cloth. So I'm just going to try and see if we can just... Maybe try a file. It started, hasn't it? Let's put this back in. Okay, so I'll try Stanley knife just to get right in there. And it's taking that out, isn't it? I personally think though that the crown just looks a bit wrong, you know, because it's like a canteen style. So I'm thinking I might change that crown. So I might add a little bit at the end of the video with pictures of the new crown fitted, because I've got a crown off another watch that does fit this case, and basically it's off a fake Submariner, so it needs to be used for something that's not important. You know, I can't use it for anything real. Quality wise, what have we got? We've got an NH35 movement. We've got a stainless steel case that's been brushed on the sides, brushed on the top, and it's got like a polished detail on the side there. So I'm just going to zoom in, see if we can get a better picture of that. Try and get it without the light on there. So we've got the polishing on the case at the side, got the polishing on top of the lugs, and then we've got the shiny sort of detail there. The dial itself has got sort of a crosshatch, a crisscross effect on it. Just gives it a nice texture. And we've got a date function in there. We've got our snowflake hands and applied indices. We've got an aluminium bezel insert. .60 click bezel, unidirectional, lines up okay, bit of bounce because it's a 60 click bezel. Yeah, so that's what it is. So it's a nice quality, Blackbay inspired, Tudor inspired, shall we say. So they've not taken the photocopier out and absolutely slavishly copied the Blackbay itself, and I'll show you that in a minute. But they've sort of taken the inspiration from a couple of Tudor watches and added their own twist into it. So what they've done is they've added the finishing on the dial. So if we take a look at what this watch looks like, probably what's it inspired by. So the first one that we might pop next to it to say this watch is inspired by would perhaps be this one. Let's see if I can get them both without reflection. There we go. So you can see that the shape of the indices compared to the shape of the indices is taken a big nod in the direction of the Tudor Pelagos. But obviously it's not copied the flatness of the dial, it's not copied the indices going in there, it's not copied the ceramic bezel insert, you know, it's not copied it slavishly. Also, it's not gone through a roulette date wheel. The crown treatment is completely different, as you can see. This one's got both lugs on there just to protect the crown guards, and this one is just standing there open to attack, as it were. So I just move that one out of the way at the moment and get another one that we might want to compare it to. I think this one personally, let's give it a bit of a polish, is going to be a closer comparison. Okay, just going to give it a wind because I do hate it when watches aren't wound. And the winding action on this is superb. A slight difference to this model here is you can see that this trim, this anodized trim, is actually on the watch, not the crown. So that's different. Give it a bit of a wind. And if you see, like for like, the crowns do look a bit different. Okay, so if I pop that on there now, and you can see, oops, if I pop this on here now, and you can see the bracelet treatment, it's very inspired by the Blackbay with its rivets and its little end links and stuff like that. The end link is inspired by it as well. The bezel, you know, I know the Blackbay bezel is inspired by other watches itself, but the bezel is pretty close. The coin edge treatment is different. It's much finer on the Blackbay. It's a coarser coin edge there. I don't know if you can see that. Yeah. The hands, pretty similar. They've got the hands quite close. Obviously the movement is smoother on the Blackbay than it is the slightly stuttery there on the Pagani. Japan made at the bottom there rather than Swiss made. Or is it Japan movement? Can't quite read it from here. And no date. So Pagani has taken the style from it. It's taken a hint on the style, but it hasn't slavishly copied. And it, you know, quality wise, obviously the brushing is a lot better on this. Brushing is pretty good. We've got polished case sides as well on this one, which is a modification that I am going to have a look at doing on this. Just polishing the case sides. The bracelet's got polished sides, brushed top. Yeah. So that, and this one, the brushing's a bit woeful if I'm honest. It's got some big deep brushing marks and some lighter brushing marks, and so much so if you actually catch it in the reflection there, I don't know if you can see it, you can see that it looks a bit, so that needs just a bit of a touch with something, whether it's a Cape Cod cloth or a scratching pad or something, just to add a bit of finesse to it. Might just need just a quick scratch up like that to finesse that. The clasp on this watch is completely different as well. It's its own thing. So it says Pagani design, 2 releases, a milled clasp, 2 central hooks there, and you can see where the hooks fit. So they're the hooks, they fit into there. The extension, sweaty day extension, is just pressed which is not milled. Some Paganis have milled sweaty day extensions. I guess it's who they're getting their supplies off. That just clicks back, and in the back there we've got the NH35 movement with the Bogo Stocko. It's got a display case back as well, so that'd be mineral crystal, not sapphire. I believe that's sapphire, so I'll just test that. So we're warmed up, ready to test. 2 spots on there. Let's see what the tester says. We've got an additional 2 spots for the Tudor. An additional 2 spots for the Pagani. Test the back. You'll see we're not getting any reaction. Oh, we are. Is that aluminium, was it? No. Mineral crystal, look. Mineral crystal there on the hardness tester. And just in case you were wondering, yeah, sapphire crystal on that. There we go. Okay, so if we're comparing sizes, you've got the bezel is 42.2 and we're at 14.7 on this one. 40.9 and 15.3. So size wise, it's a fraction wider but a little bit slimmer than the real thing, but it is its own beast. So although it has taken inspiration from the Tudor Snowflake, it hasn't slavishly copied it. We've got 22mm lug width there. And weight wise, let's see what it weighs in at. So here we have it, the Pagani design, Tudor Blackbay inspired. I won't say homage because it's not strictly speaking a homage, it's inspired by it. Yeah, inspired by the Tudor Blackbay Pagani design. Another crown fitted, and I think you'll agree, it looks a lot better. So much better looking with this other crown fitted. Take note, Pagani. This is what you should be doing.